Hola. Welcome to the 12-Step Finish Your Damn Script office hours. I'm April Yvette Thompson, the CEO of thedreamunlock.com, and I am here today as part of the folks who have bought the 12-Step Finish Your Damn Script. Each month you get office hours with me. So you get to ask me questions about the different modules that you're working on, questions about your script, questions about the exercises, which are designed to drive you to finish your damn script. I'm going to go ahead and invite my peeps who have already purchased the class. And I'm open to questions, comments about the 12-step. If you don't know what the 12-step is, I'll tell you. But I opened it only to my clients a couple months ago. But today I'm having a free class later on at 1 o'clock in which I'll be talking about the 12-step and how to finish your damn script and some tricks for structure and writer's block and all the sexy stuff that gets in your way and fear. Like fear. She's a bitch. Okay. Like she's not like, she doesn't look like a bitch. She's a bitch. And I believe that there's no such thing as writer's block. I believe that it's fear. And your job as a writer is to identify the fear. Plain and simple. I'm gonna invite some more people. Oh, let me invite Kia. How about that? All right. So the first module of the 12-step, what it is a self-driven learning course that you do online. You get an account, and you buy it, you log in, and each month you get a masterclass. It's about 2 hours long on a particular theme. And the first theme is about fear. This module is called Dreaming Out Loud, and it is a technique I talk about in my TED Talk. And it's a process. You go through 3 steps where you establish exactly what it is that you currently believe about yourself and the set of limiting beliefs that you're holding on to that no longer serve you. Because I believe that it goes much deeper than, oh, I don't know what to write, right? Or I hear comments where people are like, well, when the story wants to be told, when you have something to say, it'll show up. That's actually not true. Not all the time. Not unless you've dealt with the set of limiting beliefs that are getting in your way. And those limiting beliefs are how you define yourself in the world, right? And how you define yourself in the world is often through your work, right? So if you believe certain things about your ability to achieve things, or if you're afraid of criticism, or if you're afraid of failing yourself, if there's any set of beliefs that are squeezing down on your idea of who you can be, it'll block you. And it'll block you not just from writing, it'll block you from breathing, it'll block you from having joy, it will block you from falling in love, it will block you from taking risks and chances on doing something new that you know nothing about, that you've never done before. From bungee jumping to, okay, I'm gonna write a novel, to, okay, I think I'm gonna write a solo show and stand there all by myself for 2 hours and get people to listen to me. Yeah. These belief systems are things that we hold on to. And much of the time, we're not even aware of what they are, which totally sucks, right? So in the very first module, we establish our rules for engagement, okay? The first rule is you are enough. That's it. Plain and simple. And where you write these rules down are in the morning pages. Every day. 3 pages longhand. That's step 1. Right? So as you are going through the morning pages, you get to write about these rules of engagement. And that's the whole first module. You have recorded audio with some visuals that walk you through this exercise of doing the morning pages, asking these questions with these prompts to keep you honest and to keep you on the page. Okay? There's a bunch of rules of engagement. I'm going to talk about a few today. Thoughts become things. Thoughts become things. So I don't believe in writer's block. So I never talk about it. If you don't talk about it, you just do what you want to do. You could just run towards sunlight, right? When I can't come to the page, I focus on what that feels like when I do come to the page and go, okay, don't want to feel that anymore. Tears, shaking, nothingness, void. Then I have this thing that I call running towards sunlight. Okay? It's my new mantra for living. Okay? Run towards things that make you feel joyful from the bottom of your feet to the tip of your head. They have an expression in traditional Southern Black churches. That girl was singing from her feet. She was singing from her feet. She put her foot in it. That's how life should be led. From your feet. Put your foot in it. From the bottom to the top. We've only got 80 years here. What the hell are you doing shit you don't want to do? If you're sitting there at a page and nothing's coming up, it's because you're supposed to be doing something else. Right? Like, you can't write about life unless you're living life. If your life is imbalanced, you have nothing to pour into the vessel to write. And your spirit is experiencing that when you come to the page. The experience is like, why is you trying to force something? People who write are people who are observers and livers of life. They are engaged in the human condition, the foibles, the follies, the joys, the amazing parts of us, right? You actually have to be living in order to write. It's a little thing, right? And when you're not in balance, thoughts become things. I come to the page and I feel nothing. I feel a void. What's the rest of your life feel like? Thoughts become things. So is it that you're coming to the page and you're empty and there's nothing there? Is that what's happening? Or is it that the larger balance of your life is kind of empty? Is it being fed? See, the universe hates a void. So it goes to fill it with something. Regret, the inability to write. The universe is just listening to your thoughts and then delivering on them. Yeah, I know it sucks, right? So when you talk about writer's block, and I love that this module is the very first module of the 12 step, and that is also the module that I keep getting notes from people that they keep skipping. Because they're like, no, I just want to go straight to outline. I was like, well, if you can't deal with the disease, you're going to be wrestling with the symptoms the entire 12 months of the 12 step, aren't you? Yeah, totally sucks. So in this dreaming out loud process, we're going to identify some things. And I was reading this great post today that came to me. How am I talking to you without my Cuban coffee, right? Like, isn't it still early on Saturday? Whatever, dude. So Stephen L. Gurgis, who's in this group, who's like an amazing playwright, like amazing, like amazing. Okay, like I would get on a plane and fly across America to do one of his plays and pay for it myself. I'd pay him to be on one of his plays. Okay, that's how brilliant he is. And everybody knows I don't work for free. Fuck all that. He's a genius. Okay, Jesus off the A train, motherfucker with the hat. Okay, he's genius, right? He has a great post today. If you go to his page, you can see it. And I think I shared it in the group. If you're friends with him, you can see it. About writer's block and nothing coming up. And he says this really brilliant thing. He says, it's not blocked. I'm not blocked. Fuck all that. Fuck manifesting, dreaming, thinking, la, 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 la. It's fear. It's fear. It's plain old fear. So until you undo the fear, which are the places where you're broken, nothing else is going to come up. Nothing. Nothing at all. I loved this post because I was in a similar place, not just in writing and creativity, but in acting, in writing, in producing, in living. So my juices were dead. Nothing was coming up. I wasn't excited about working on anything. I wasn't coming up with any projects to work on. I had nothing to say. And I realized that the fear was in me. And because it was happening on all fronts of my life, including my personal life, it was easier for me to see that, oh, okay, this is a manifestation of something, right? Writer's block is the high blood pressure, okay? Writer's block is diabetes. Writer's block is cancer. It ain't the shit that caused the cancer. It ain't the shit that caused the diabetes. It ain't, right? So until you deal with the cause, the disease is just going to get worse and worse. And when the disease is fear, it's time to step back and look at that. Shake it out. Shake out that dirty laundry, right? And I started with the morning pages, and it's what I teach all my clients. Your morning pages is not for you to go in there and write a story. The morning pages is for you to take a shit. See what comes out. Because there's a lot of shit inside that you're not dealing with. There's a lot of shit. Now, like Pima Children says, a lot of that shit is our juiciness. The places where we're broken and we continue to reach for the light, some of those places are just like stunningly beautiful, right? The morning pages is for you to dump out your juiciness, which could be crazy, neuroses, whatever, but it could also be your tenderness, right? It could also be your immense empathy, right? But the morning pages is a place to dump all that out and take a look at it. But I generally don't have my clients take a look at it until they've been doing the morning pages for a couple of months. Yeah. The morning pages are your own sort of personal therapist. Only there's nobody talking back at you going, you should do this and you should do that. There's none of that. What there is you laying out what you're mad about, what you hate, what's driving you crazy, what you're struggling with, what. Okay? That's what the morning pages are for. To go to a place and give yourself permission to wander around on that page and allowing whatever wants to come up to come up. It's giving you a place where you can lay all that neuroses and fear down, put it in writing and look at it, and then dissect it later. Right now, you just need to put it somewhere because it is filling you up and not feeding you, right? It's junk food. So take that junk food out of your diet and put it into the morning pages. And at the end of a couple of months, you're going to read through them and you're going to look for recurring themes, right? Because writer's block is not writing, right? But if you're on the internet, on Facebook, writing a text, you're writing. So it's not writer's block. If you're doing the morning pages and when you can't think of anything to say, you write, I don't know what to say, 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 I don't know what to say. That's writing. Did morning pages teach you how to write and turn off your inner editor, your inner critic of what it should be like? The morning pages demand that you just show up and write what comes up, not what you're trying to make come up. The morning pages teach you how not to quit on yourself, especially when you do them the way I do them. in my dreaming out loud technique. I walk you through it. I don't just say, okay, go over there and write. I give you a ritual, a setup, a place, a time, a meditation. I give you prompts to walk you through whatever comes up and never edit. It's amazing that most writers never do this. So you've never just let yourself shit on the page. You don't know what's great and what's shitty because you haven't released it all. You're also holding on to a whole bunch of fear. It's not serving you. And if you're full of junk food, there's no room in the belly, the spirit, the mind, and the heart for good food, for organic food, because you're full of junk food. So you gotta dump. You gotta dump. The whole first module of the 12 step is all about this. 2-hour masterclass. And then each week you get mini weapons. I call them the writer's block weapons, weekly weapons, right? And the weekly weapons, we email them to you. They're generally an exercise that you have to do that builds on what you learned in the masterclass. Right? It's sort of sexy, fun, sexy, fun. I love it. So it keeps you honest. You have a place to come every month and ask me questions if you want. At the end of each masterclass, there is an online forum where you can comment and ask questions, and I'll respond. You also get a monthly newsletter called the Badass Writers Newsletter. And some of you may have seen it. You guys get it every now and then, but if you buy the 12 step, you get it every single month. We have everything from artist housing to what grant deadlines are coming up. We spotlight a couple of writers that are my clients. This month, people are doing amazing things. Lee Edward Colston premiered his play, For Steep Breath, at Victory Gardens in Chicago, which the artistic director is Che Yu, one of my favorite human beings ever, and Lee Colston, one of my favorite human beings, friends, clients, like teacher, fellow colleague ever. He's brilliant. I'm so excited for him. And then last month we featured Sharon Washington because her solo show, she started in one of my workshops, premiered off Broadway at the Cherry Lane Theater. So, you know, the Badass Writers Newsletter is a place to celebrate. I tell artists that all the time, celebrate. Until further notice, celebrate everything. This life that you're leading is hard, right? And if the vessel is empty and nothing's coming, it means the life is imbalanced. So that's the universe saying, go live some life. Just go live some life. Run towards the sunshine. That's what I did when I was completely blocked. Completely blocked. I was like, I give up. Why am I trying to make this thing work? Why am I trying to show up here and write this thing that looks like that's what everybody wants, this commission? Why am I trying to write this grant somebody asked me to apply for? Why am I trying and don't want to? Why am I blocked? Because that's not what the soul and the spirit wants right now. The soul and the spirit needs to be fed. Figure out what kind of food your soul and your spirit need by doing the morning pages. So you do them consistently. Every day, I do 6 pages a day. You'll start to see recurring trends, recurring themes. Pay attention to the things that make you feel good. Get present in that feeling. And then you make a list of those things that make you feel good. And then instead of focusing on, I need to write, I want you to focus on how you want to feel. A little bit every day, right? A little bit every day. When I make my bed, and then I make a cup of Cuban coffee, and then I sit down with my banana chocolate bread from Food Kick, do not play with me. And I put on, my beautiful Cuban folk music, and I start writing my morning pages. I have such an immense amount of joy. And then I sit in my Moroccan furniture. I made this space for myself. I made the quiet. Listen to that. Nobody yelling and screaming. Nobody telling me what to do. That place, that space is where I have created my own personal writer's room. Because I've learned what makes me joyful and what makes me feel purpose-filled. And I've concentrated and written those things down, and lots of therapy. That's just what Dr. O is like. Are you sleeping? Are you doing something good for yourself? What's giving you joy? Try doing those things. Try doing those things that give you joy and writing about them in the morning pages. And then every day, look for that feeling again. Not the task necessarily, the feeling, right? Because I get the same feeling drinking my Bustelo every morning that I did when I was a little girl and I drank hot milk with my great-grandmother. I recreated that experience. The minute I did that, a story about her showed up. Run towards the sunlight. Run towards the sunlight. And I was hating New York and I was hating the cold and I couldn't write anything. I was like, fuck it. I'm going to Morocco. Cheap ticket. Teaching's feeling good. Somebody offered me a teaching job in Switzerland. I went. I was like, oh, well, like 3 hours from Morocco. Fuck it, I'm going to go. Changed my entire life. In Morocco, writing came like this. Because I was living a life to write about. I was focusing on how I wanted to feel. So the writing just came. That's it. There were a couple of crazy people on the tour. I moved away from them and moved closer towards amazing storytellers that I met in the desert who had great stories to tell me. I met great storytellers in Morocco because I had written down that that's what I want. I was like, I want a wise storyteller. So I moved closer to what made me feel good, and then it rewarded me with story. Run towards the sunlight. Run towards the sunlight. Fuck deadlines. Deadlines are the death of creativity, especially if you're blocked, but you've written tons of shit before. Run towards the sunlight. Find out what the imbalance is. Find out what you're holding on to that's no longer serving you so you can release it. And continue leaving your pain into light. So like that. I mean it. Bye.